In addition to creating drum loops and patterns using Push, you can also tweak and refine the individual sounds of drum racks in several different ways. So let's see how this works. So I've loaded a Core Kit 808 into my drum rack. And in this case, the actual sounds of the drum rack are housed inside what is called an instrument rack. An instrument rack has 8 macros which are mapped to the 8 most important parameters of that particular device. In this case, it's a simpler holding the actual 808 samples. If I want to adjust and customize the sounds of my 808 kit, I can use the 8 encoders above the display, which map to the corresponding 8 macros of each pad. I can go through my sounds by simply tapping the pads and adjusting the pitch or envelope accordingly. Using the arrow keys, I'm going to navigate to another track. In this case, I also have a drum rack here set up, but all of the sample sounds are not contained within an instrument rack. Rather, they're contained in a simpler. If I wish to access all the parameters of the simpler device for this snare, I'll select the simpler using the button above the display. I now have access to all the parameters within the simpler device. I wish to switch on the filter, so I'm going to select the filter page. I've adjusted the filter, and now I'll navigate back to the global section to adjust the volume. By pressing the main button, I navigate back to the main parameters of the simpler device, and if I wish to return back to the drum rack, I'll select the snare button above the display and go back to the entire drum rack. Using the arrow keys again, I'll navigate back to my first drum rack. If I wish to add effects to drums, I can simply do this by pressing the Add Device button. I'll navigate to the Audio Effects section, and in this case, I'd like to add some distortion in the form of the Dynamic Tube device. The first preset in the list will always allow me to load the default parameters of that device. I want to select a preset, so I'm going to scroll through my list and then press the load button. The Dynamic Tube device is now loaded behind the drum rack and is affecting the sound of the drum loop that I've created. The 8 encoders above the display are now mapped to the actual Dynamic Tube device, and I can adjust the parameters accordingly. If I wish to add some more audio effects, I can simply press Add Device to add some more devices. The audio signal runs from left to right, and I can add as many audio devices as I want to the signal chain. If I wish to switch off a device, I can simply press and hold the mute button, and then press the button above the display of the device I wish to switch off. If I wish to add an effect to a specific part of the drums within the drum rack, I can select that particular sound using the pads. Above the display, I'll select the clap, and then press Add Device. And I'll browse for an audio effect. In this case, the reverb has been loaded only on the clap. I can now adjust the parameters and then by pressing the first button above the display, go back to the entire drum rack kit. Lastly, recording automation is another way of recording the movement of parameters of specific devices. I'm going to add another reverb, which is affecting the entire drum rack kit. I'd like to record the movement of the dry-wet encoder. To do this, I simply have to make sure that the automate button is lit and press record, and then turn the encoder to record the automation. When this automation has been recorded, there's a little square next to that parameter, and you can actually see the movement of the automation recorded. If I wish to delete the automation, I can simply hold the delete button and tap the encoder to delete the automation. If I wish to override the automation without deleting it, I simply twist the encoder. If I wish to regain the automation, I can hold down the shift button and press automate.